Okay, I'm getting ready to put these cylinders here up on the motor. So I got these bores all cleaned out right now. I got the rear set here, it's the front set, and these are the piston rings here. So we're getting ready to check the ring gaps here. So I'll lay this up here so you can see. So basically we just take the rings and put them in the cylinder. Put them in there square. You get a flat top piston, you can use that to check it with. These S&S's aren't flat, so you can't really check them that way. I just kind of eyeball them, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So you just look at them, make sure there's a gap in here. See the gap right there. So here's a 6-inch ruler right here. These are 16 thou thick. So you can see we got plenty of room in there. So these are probably about 20 thou. So anything up to 28 would work, so that's good. So we just check it one at a time. So the way you put the rings in is you collapse the ring here as you push it in. Pull that back a little bit. It's fun to do everything in one hand, but you just kind of collapse it so you have a lot of tension on it. Push it down about 1 inch, and then on both sides push them equally here so you don't bend the ring. You can also come over here and pull up the back side with your fingers and get the ring relatively square in the bore. And you can see how the second ring has a bigger gap than the top ring had. Actually, these are the second rings, excuse me. Top rings I haven't done yet. So you can see how this got a little more clearance than the other one. That's alright. Tight is bad, loose doesn't really do too much to hurt you. Tight will definitely have problems. So I'm just going to work these around. So I'm doing everything with one hand instead of two, like I normally do. So get it squared up in there. And it's got a gap, so I'm good. But you can see how this one's, it's right about 18 or so. Top rings are always tighter than second rings. So, top ring has the moly coat on it when you get moly rings. Second rings almost always have dots on them. Which is, this one's not showing you the dot. That's nice. Anyway, they got a back cut on them back there. I don't know if you can see that. So the ring is not square. It's got a chamfer on the inside edge there. Get the light right, we can see it. So second rings have that. Top rings, most of them are square cut. Here's your top ring here. This one here actually has a little bit of a chamfer on this one. So this is the Evo ring. They do them a little different than they do on the our older bikes. But anyway, the instructions will tell you which one is which if you don't know. See, this one's nice and loose again. So check my squareness there. I didn't have it quite squared up. See, now it's a little tighter. So when you get them on the right, that tightens them up a little bit. Okay, the oil rings, you just gotta put those in there, and you just kind of eyeball them. You can see a stack of them in there, got grooves in them. The other side of that. Usually got them right together, but doing everything with one hand, it makes it hard to do. So that ring is good. This one here, you can see how big the gap is, real big. And those two gaps are right close together, so we can do them as a pair. So you can see the two rings there. Got a gap on that one, and one below it right there is another gap. So cheat and do a couple at a time. Alright, so those are all good. I'll put this back up over here. Okay. Get that out of the way. Now you want to go ahead and put the ring We're going to put the rings on the pistons, we've got to put the keepers on the inside the pistons. I got to have two hands to do this stuff. Okay, these are wire lock style, so they're round. You want to make sure your pistons have round style grooves in here, not square cut. Makes a difference. So basically this screw notch in here is to allow you to get underneath it with a pick to get the snap ring out of there. So you want to make sure when you put it in there that you do not have the gap right there. You want to make sure you got the clip over covering that, so you can get a pick or something behind to pull it out. So basically you just kind of push it in there. It's really hard to do with my finger here. I'm trying to make it where you can see it with the camera, it's even harder. Okay, basically just kind of walk it in there. So you just kind of push it down lightly right here, like this. Get it up there where you can see it. And just kind of walk it around the bore and push it on in. Really hard to do with one hand like that. Now I got it in the bore, but it's past the bottom of the groove, so I just take a long screwdriver, come up from the back side and just push it on up. You heard it click in. You look at it real close, make sure it's in there. A lot of times I'll take a screwdriver and just kind of rotate it. And so now it's in there all the way. Get the snap ring right here. You can get, that's right, it goes over the notch, so you can get the screwdriver in there to pop it out or a pick. But it's fully seated in the groove. That's what you want to see. Now I didn't pay attention to what side I put that on, so right here it tells me I'm on the cam side. So the wrist pin's going to come in through the left side of the bike. So I'll get the rear piston, and I'll put it on the same side, the cam side, so another one's this side of the piston. So this one here, we're going to do it right here on the table where I can work on it easier. They got some fancy tools you can get to do this, but just take your time and do it this way. It works fine. Hear the multiple snap, snap, snaps. That's where it popped in. Rotate it, make sure it's good, and now that one's in. And it's on the cam side. Alright, so that was not too hard to do. Now your wrist pins have a chamfer cut on right here so that they push up against the round part of the snap ring right here. So that way they don't just push it right out of the board. It actually makes it tighter when you start beating on it with the wrist pin. So it takes a lot more pressure to get these style locks out than regular locks. Okay, now put the rings on it. Very important that you do not roll rings on. The O-ring is no big deal, goes on. Now the gaps are going to be on the 45-degree parts. You guys get front, back, side, side. I always put the ring gaps on the corners. So it's 45. It's always offset 45 degrees from your straight faces. So first thing I do, I put the expander on here. See if I can blow this up a little bit. So you got the gap right over here on this 45 angle. And I just take a ring, an oil ring, and I put it, basically I just go 90 degrees over. Where the hell's the camera at? Losing where I'm at so you can see. So I put that over there. Now the oil ring you can roll them on, it doesn't hurt them, within reason. You want to make sure that you get this underneath the expander over here. And when you get over here, I just start pulling on the ring out slightly. And as I do, it rolls right in. And when I get over to what the gap is, I take my thumbnail and I stick it underneath the groove at the end of the ring, so it doesn't scratch up the surface, and you just drop it in. You just pull up and drop it in. So now our gap is here on the oil ring, and the expander's over here on this side, 90 degrees away. Then I take the other the second oil ring, and I put it 180 across from the first one. So we're still 90 degrees from the middle segment piece. And this I just kind of roll it around like this with my fingers. And when you get up to the end of the ring again, you put your thumb under it and just pick it up and move it over. Just drop it in. And you make sure it's nice and free in there. If it's any binding, you got to redo it until it works. Okay, now we got to find our second ring. There's that dot I was looking for. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not. Dot's right there. Okay, the dots go up. In this case, the chamfer goes down. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Now, to put this on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it with my fingers. My index fingers here hold the ring, support it, and my thumbs spread it like this. So you're not twisting the ring. If you twist the ring, it bends it, and it's no good. So I go ahead and put the ends of the rings down here in the second groove where I want them to be at. I put pressure on there with my thumbs. I put pressure up here on my index fingers. I'm going to roll it across the piston right here on both sides and pull apart with my thumbs at the same time. So we just go like that, roll it around. And you get about halfway down. Right here, then you just go up here on the top and you just push it down with your thumb right here. It goes over the top and drops in. There you go, it's all the way in. So now the ring is in the second ring land and it's not twisted. If you bend them, you have to straighten them or buy new rings. So you want the ring to be nice and free in the groove like this one is. It's not binding anywhere. If there's any kind of a binding, that means you twisted it and screwed it up. I don't care what anybody says, do never roll rings onto pistons. Okay, these top rings, which is the moly-coated one here, the smooth one. See, your second ring doesn't have the moly in it, so it's rough. This one has a dot on it also, right here. And it has a chamfer. This time the chamfer is up, so the pressure gets in behind the ring and makes it open up to put tension on it so it seals. So the dot goes up, and it's the same process as we did before. We put the butts of the ring down here where we want them, down here in the groove, and we spread our thumbs and push with our index fingers. So I got that one. I got about that far. It's fighting me a little bit, but we just come over here. I put a little light pressure here with my one thumb, and I push out up here with my other thumb. And you heard it pop. It just rolls right in. Now, if it doesn't roll right in, you're binding it, so slow down, pay attention, see where it's binding, go to the tight spot and work at it. So you can see how that one goes in there real nice and free. Okay, now you gotta line up our gaps. So we gotta go find our gap. We got one right here. So we're on this 45 degree over here. So we gotta find out where the other gap is at. Always go for the second one. There's our second ring gap. So we put that over here, 90 degrees over. And then we go 180 degrees around to the other one from the top ring. So the top and second are 180 apart, like where my thumbs are. You turn it 90 degrees, and the oil rings are 90 degrees apart. So that way your gaps are off the corners here. So that way everything's not lined up as you put it in. So that's how you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other ring, the other piston. Get that over here where you can kind of see me do it. It's a bit quicker if I don't have to explain everything. Where'd my gap go? There it is right there. Yep. I'm not watching the camera, I'm watching me. Pull the camera back a little bit and I can see better. There you go. Now I don't go out of view. Okay, find my dot. There it is. Second ring, not top ring. Okay. So I grab the whole stack, go like that, and I also go in and out like that. There's no binding. Okay, I want to mix up my pistons though. This one here is the rear one. Say rear on it? Oh, it does say rear on it. So we have an R and an F. I'll look at the pistons cut away. This one's cut away for the other piston to come down and hit it. So this is the rear one. And the intake pockets are the big pocket. Exhaust is small pocket. So the two intakes go together if you get confused. So there's always ways of figuring this out without reading. Okay, so we got the rings all installed on the pistons now. So let me go ahead and cut this for a minute.